Welcome to Bets on the Future, where we highlight the various career paths in the electrifying metals world. From the vehicle you ride in to the bridge holding it up, metals are everywhere. Why not in your career too? I'm Jennifer Betts, a metals industry veteran with almost 20 years experience, here to highlight these incredible career paths as told by the women who are living them. We are very fortunate to have Ms. Tamara Weinert. She is the president of Outokumpu, the stainless steel manufacturer in North America. I want to do a brief bio for her because with Ms. Robin Weinert, we know her a little bit more, but some of us may not be aware of Outokumpu, even though they are the second largest stainless steel manufacturer in North America. Ms. Weinert is currently president and CEO of Outokumpu's Business Area Americas. Under her leadership of the Americas has seen consistent operational improvement and positive results. Before joining the Americas, she was a senior vice president of sales for Outokumpu, after serving as the European CFO from 2013 to 2016. Outokumpu is one of the largest stainless steel producers in the world and a listed company headquartered in Helsinki. During her career, she was based in Germany, India, Singapore, Russia, Pakistan, the Netherlands, and Finland. Tamara holds a master's degree in finance from Manchester Business School and an MSc in protected landscape management from University of Greenwich. I just want to say a huge thank you for traveling to Las Vegas at the ISRI 2024 conference and joining us on a special edition of the live episode of Bets on the Future. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It's really nice to be here.
For those that are joining us in the audience today, what we do on Bets on the Future is we go a little bit over the various careers in the metals industry. And obviously you've had a very, I'd say, traveled career in the industry. I want to go back a little bit. I don't imagine that you probably growing up were like, I want to go into metals manufacturing. How did you come to find the metals industry? Like what brought you to that moment?
No, it's correct. I didn't dream of stainless steel growing up. I'm a banker by profession. I worked 17 years for a bank. And then I moved into an energy company, a utility with a very big energy trading arm. And I became the treasurer for a very well-rated utility, Vattenfall in Sweden. And I looked for a challenge, and I said to some people that I would like to work for a company with a sub-investment grade rating instead of an A+ rating, because as a treasurer, that is just so much more challenging. And it got delivered. They said, we just have the right thing for you. As you know, stainless steel companies, specifically in Europe, have been under pressure for quite some time due to the structure of the industry. And Outokumpu and ThyssenKrupp stainless steel at that time still definitely more in the sub-investment grade range. So that's how I joined and haven't looked back. It's a fantastic material. It's a fantastic product. It was like a fish to water.
It really goes into pretty much anything. I mean, it really is a versatile material that most people really don't understand how it touches a lot of our everyday lives. And it's pretty incredible what Outokumpu has done, particularly in North America. I don't know if the majority of the population really even understands what Outokumpu has built up in North America. And in particular, you've been particularly focused on the sustainability in this part of the world. Has that always been a focus for Outokumpu, or has that been something that's been a little bit of a shift in recent years?
I mean, Outokumpu, as you said earlier, we are one of the global players when it comes to stainless steel production. We produce in Finland, we produce in Sweden, Germany, and we produce in Mexico. And around 2010, 2011, 12, we started our operations in Alabama, in the US, and it has been a challenging journey. Again, the structure of the industry is not so easy. And I think it is a product, as you said, it's very versatile. You find it in the washing machines, in the dishwashers, in cutlery, in high corrosion environments like undersea cables, aerospace. It's everywhere. It's hygienic, it's beautiful. You find it on the outside of buildings. So it's an absolutely fabulous material. But what makes it really so very, very outstanding is that it's so much part of the circular economy. And that's why also, and I call it the scrap industry, you could say recycled content. For me, scrap is a beautiful word. We convert a lot of scrap into, again, a new material. And every gram of stainless steel we produced can be reused again, 100%. And our recycled content ratio group-wide is around 95%. And in the Americas, we very often manage to even be a little bit higher for that. It shows that recycled material is our most important raw material. And it makes it, for me, a product that fits very much into the challenges of today. It is circularity, it is the environment, sustainability. And as a product, it always was that. It didn't need more messaging around that. It was always been able to be fully reused. But of course, we have seen a shift in perceptions over the last 20 years. So I think it fits really very well in today's time. And so to put really sustainability more into the focal point of our strategy has been a conscious decision, though the product itself always was that.
In the United States, I would say, I'm very much generalizing, but I would say the majority of the population really is unaware what an electric arc furnace is, right? And so when you're talking about the recycled material content, you're talking about putting it into an electric arc furnace, the EAFs that you have. It's pretty impressive what you're doing with the facilities that you have on site, and that you're looking at expanding and growing that, using additional recycled material content in that, and pushing that, because there are some facilities that, sometimes you do have to use more pure nickel and some other alloys in there, and it's very fascinating to see the technology that you're using to make sure that you're focusing more on that sustainable front.
Yes, I think when you work as an organization with all your people to get your carbon footprint down to the lowest level that you can, in stainless steel, the raw material input is one of the main drivers. And so the higher your recycled content ratio is, you have a very good starting point for that. And it is the fabulous work, really, of procurement, together with our scrap suppliers, together with operations, to make that day by day, melt for melt, a reality. And if you only have 2% to play with to get the chemistry right, and you have to get the chemistry right, because again, high corrosion, high temperatures, hygienic, all of what the material has to deliver comes, of course, from the chemistry and the way we roll it. And so it is really a fantastic work of all of these together to deliver this every day. And then for the rest of the material, where you do need some primary material, etc., also there, you look for low carbon sources, you look for sustainable material. And sustainability is not only the carbon footprint, it also is, of course, about everything that goes around it, other environmental protection and structures. It is about fair labor, it is about no child labor, it is about human rights, everything that goes with it. And we have built a department which goes onto audits into our suppliers, and especially for primary material, these are sometimes difficult places in the world, but we work together and we try to get the best material which we can for our material.
That lends me into my next question on this one. Outokumpu's mission is to work towards a world that lasts forever. What does that mean necessarily in terms of the environmental sustainability for Outokumpu on that front?
It's for sure a journey. We're not yet there. However, if we look, and I start again with the carbon footprint, because that's very often the KPI that is, of course, used the most. Since 2016, we have reduced our carbon footprint in our material by 27% until 2023. And the target is, and we will achieve that, 42% by 2030. And of course, again, it's not only the carbon footprint. You look at water conservation, you look at the nitrates, you look at the air quality, the water quality, you look at waste reduction, etc. And again, the recycling industry is so very important for that, because everything I cannot recycle, if it goes into landfill, it's like losing. You wanna make the best out of the material which you have. So you work on all of these different aspects, and sometimes it's small things. And if you have passionate people in your organization on this, and we do have that, good ideas come up all the time, and you work on them. And so it's absolutely fantastic. Yes.
So on the people front, I have to ask, can you share any examples on how Outokumpu's business area, specifically in the Americas, has made efforts to be a more sustainable company here, particularly, let's say, in the US?
I think what made a big difference, and we started that journey more a couple of years ago, was to make it something we watch, right? Because what you measure and where you put your attention on, that is where very often you get a very energetic response from the organization. So it starts with, paper to be recycled and not thrown away. In the office, to be careful how we use any material which we require. We had a nitrate reduction project, very successful one in our area, and our mill is in the Mobile Tensor Delta. It's the most beautiful area. I've never seen anything so beautiful, full of nature and biodiversity. So it is, of course, our responsibility as a company who works there to ensure that we don't harm the environment. And so the target always must be that every day you need to be the best company you can be, and you improve year on year, month on month, day by day, with the ideas that come up, and you implement them one by one. And it's not always a fast journey, but again, we get some very good ideas how to save energy, water consumption, etc., from the organization.
I do have to mention, I don't think I mentioned this in some of our correspondence back and forth, I did have the honor to tour your facility in Mobile, Alabama. I want to say 2015, 2016. It was the cleanest steel mill I've ever toured, and it was in pristine condition. It's very clear your employees have a lot of pride in where they work. It was very impressive to see the facility and how it was run. Obviously, we're approaching a decade since that's been there. What kind of technological advancements have been put in place? I don't want to say since then. I mean, it's pretty much one of the most advanced stainless steel mills that's out there. So I don't know if it was that when I went there, or if it's since had additional improvements since then. It's been about a decade, so I could be a little bit out of date since that tour.
I guess once the mill is built, your basic infrastructure is there.
Right.
And so in the mill itself, we make continuous improvements all the time. In our annealing furnaces, we had some coating on the inside, which is energy efficient. So it's just one of the many ideas which come up, and you implement it, you measure, and you see is it a good improvement, and it is a really good improvement and very, very energy efficient for us. We improved a lot on our logistic by really pushing for much more non-truck movements as well. Stainless material travels very well by rail, and so that is a huge improvement in the CO2 footprint. The biggest focus very often is, in stainless, it's the raw material, It's the electricity because of the electric arc furnaces, and it is the transport. So these are the three things you really focus upon when it comes on the environmental sustainability. Social sustainability is then more around, of course, safety as our main KPI, and we made huge improvements there as well. We're very proud of that, and other of the social aspects. But the mill itself, really, it's a continuous improvement day by day, looking at the processes, cutting out waste, improving your yield. Every little bit of material you can use and you don't have to melt back is good for your carbon footprint. So there's a lot you can do by running a mill in an efficient, consistent manner, which helps you with your carbon footprint.
So we've been focusing a lot on the positive. I do have to shift a little bit on the negative side. What would you say is the biggest threat in terms of the environmental sustainability for the stainless steel industry?
There's, of course, a lot of small things you work upon. Again, water quality, air quality. We have an acid regeneration plant that helps a lot. But these are more smaller side issues. The big issue in the stainless steel industry is around imports. We have a huge import flux, despite all the measures that we have seen taken, and we're very grateful for the U.S. government for the listening to the issues of the industry and acting accordingly. We have USMCA, we have some duties on the real worst offenders, we have Section 232, Buy America provisions. Despite this, we have an import ratio of 25 to 30%. And that material can come in because, to a very large degree, it is very dirty. So if the door is open to import dirty material because the cost advantage is so high on the raw material side, because it's not recycled content, it's nickel pig iron, it's really difficult. And we see the pressures of these imports that are so much cheaper and are so much more dirty in Europe really a lot. As Outokumpu, we had to close 2 melt shops in Europe, and thousands of jobs, not only ours, got lost in that import influx. And it's something I think politicians pay now much more attention to. And the US has been much better with that. But despite that, 25 to 30% of imports still come in.
I did not realize it was that high on that front. I mean, I knew imports were obviously coming in, but I didn't realize in perspective compared to our domestic production.
It's a higher market share than what Outokumpu has as the second largest producer.
Wow.
So it is a very big player still. And imagine now we would not have all of these measures, what the situation would be like.
Wow. Is that number also factoring in the finished products that are coming into, wow, okay. For those that are listening at home, since this is a podcast, she is shaking her head no.
No. Indirect imports, as we call them, of finished products, not part of that calculation.
Wow. You know, on a little bit of a side note on this, it's a bit of I'll call it a pet project, pet peeve. Those Stanley Yeti stainless steel tumblers that everyone loves in every single color, size, metric. They're designed in the United States. Not one of them is actually made in the United States with any of our domestic stainless steel.
Yes.
That's used with EAF recycled material.
That is a big shame. Because, I mean, the stainless steel that is produced in the US is the cleanest in the world. It has an excellent quality. And of course, we would wish that in some of the procurement decisions, it would be taken into account. We understand it's a competitive market out there. And the protection that is given to the stainless steel producers does not go all the way through to the end product. And so I understand that in business, you have to make a profit to survive. There's no doubt about that.
Yes. But just how large of a profit do they need to make at the expense of, you know, the sustainability front?
Yes, of course, I do hope everyone listens to you.
Yes. I'm still pushing that front.
Very good, thank you.
on that one. Is there anything going forward when you're taking a look at the stainless steel market, the opportunities that are out there that you would give to someone that's looking to get into the metals industry? Now that you've been in it, you've traveled the world, you've worked in different locations, is there any advice that you would give to someone that's looking to get into this world?
I think there are wonderful opportunities in our industry because it's so versatile, right? Sales, production, supply chain. I mean, it fulfills the whole range of things you want to do. Of course, the area in the Mobile Bay is absolutely beautiful for nature lovers out there. I can highly recommend it. But on top of that, there is a lot of passion in it because of the sustainability aspect of it. It fits the circular economy to a T. It's really a fantastic material which is used in so many different applications. So I think once people go into the industry, they hardly ever leave because it is a fascinating industry which creates a lot of passion in the employees as well. And we have the most fantastic people. It's most amazing, yes.
Yes. I do know a few of your employees, and they are fantastic.
Yes.
They are great to work with, and they really are passionate about this
Yes.
industry. It's the perfect melting pot, if you will, of the
Good word.
sustainability, the manufacturing, the economy, the environment. It really is the perfect combination especially for the next generation that does really care about essentially all of those topics for a lifelong career. And metals are pretty much everywhere. So if you're looking to move to a different location, there's always going to be an opportunity for you in the future.
I fully agree with that. And of course, first time you stand in a melt shop and the electrodes go into the oven and the ground shakes below your feet and the material melts with electricity, it's unforgettable and you will not leave it easily.
Yes, pretty much the first time that I ever saw that, hooked, done, in for life.
Absolutely.
I want to say huge thank you to you for coming, hopping on the podcast. It's been wonderful learning more about your business, what you've been bringing to the table, the huge push on what Outokumpu has been doing, especially in the Americas on the sustainability front. Thank you for the EAFs, the increased production, the huge recycled materials content in your products, and just overall, thank you for joining us at the ISRI 2024 conference.
Thank you so much for having me, and thanks for everything you do for the industry. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.